The man stands in the vast chamber of cold stone and glowing symbols, his breath shallow, his thoughts spiraling as he looks upon the two alien women before him, their skin shimmering with colors unknown to his world, their eyes holding secrets beyond his understanding. He has been given the choice to claim one of them as his reward, but he knows not what fate truly means in this moment. The chains that bind their wrists are not of metal, but of energy, shifting, pulsing, alive, as if they have their own will. The first woman stands tall, her gaze piercing into his soul, as if she already knows what he will decide. Her hair a flowing river of silver, her body covered in an iridescent material that moves with her like a second skin. She does not plead, she does not tremble, she merely watches, waiting, measuring. The second woman is different, her eyes downcast, her form smaller, her movements hesitant, her chains seem heavier, as though they bear not just physical weight, but the crushing burden of something unseen. Her skin glows a soft blue, her presence more delicate, but the energy around her flickers, as if responding to unspoken fears. She does not look at him, not fully, only in stolen glances filled with something he cannot name. The voice of the unseen figure that brought him here echoes through the chamber, the words reverberating in his mind. Embody the choice is simple, the reward is yours. One of them will be yours to command, to own, to shape as you will. The other will be return to the void from which she was taken. His heart pounds because the word reward feels wrong. It feels like a test, a trap, something beyond his comprehension. He steps closer to the women, feeling the weight of eternity pressing against him. Neither speaks, neither moves. They only wait. His mind races, trying to understand why this is happening, what purpose this serves. He was told he had won a great honor, that his deeds had earned him a gift beyond measure. But as he stands here, faced with the reality of the choice, he wonders if he has truly won anything at all. The chains pulse again, as if urging him forward. The first woman lifts her chin, her voice finally breaking the silence. When you choose knowing that you will not only shape my fate, but your own, she says, her voice smooth but edged with something sharp. The second woman finally looks at him fully, her eyes deep pools of sorrow and quiet strength. She does not speak, but the plea in her gaze is deafening. The chamber hums with unseen energy, waiting, watching, judging. He swallows, his throat dry as desert sand. He was never told what would happen if he refused to choose, if he walked away, if he denied this so-called reward, but he knows somehow that the option does not exist. The moment stretches infinite and unbearable, and he realizes that no matter his choice, he will never leave this place unchanged. He breathes in deep, his hands trembling, the power in this place crackling like a storm trapped within ancient stone. He has seen many things across his travels, for creatures of unimaginable horror stood against forces that could shatter worlds, but this single moment, this single choice feels heavier than all the battles he has ever faced. His gaze flickers between the two women, both bound, both waiting. The first remains unmoving, unwavering, her expression unreadable. The second, her shoulders rise and fall with an uneven breath, her fingers twitch, her eyes searching his face for an answer she dares not voice. What if he refuses? What if he demands they both be set free? The thought is foolish, and yet it clings to his mind like ivy, creeping up the walls of his doubt. The unseen figure who speaks the commands would surely not allow it. The rules are clear, and yet something within him whispers that rules can be broken. He turns to the unseen voice, his own voice steadier. Then he feels, what if I choose neither? What if I refuse? The air in the chamber thickens, the pressure crushing. The unseen force shifts, a presence now palpable coiling like a serpent around his mind. You misunderstand, says the voice. There is no refusal, only choice. Choose or be chosen. The chains tighten around the wrists of the women, as if the energy senses the hesitation. The first woman steps forward for the first time, urgency flickering in her gaze. You do not know what is at stake, she warns, her voice a blade honed sharp. Do not let your indecision seal a fate you cannot undo. The second woman, her voice barely above a whisper, finally speaks, her words like the last breath of a dying star. We were not always prisoners, once we were more than this. If you choose, you must choose, not for power, not for possession, but for truth. The weight of their words crashed over him like a tidal wave. He cannot stand still any longer. He must act, he must decide, and yet the chains pulse as if sensing something deep within him, something unspoken, something the chamber itself did not anticipate. The glow of the symbols on the walls changes, flickering, shifting. The unseen force trembles, the power bending, breaking, an anomaly, a fracture in the expected pattern. The chains on both women waver, uncertain, as if awaiting an answer they cannot predict. The man breathes once deeply, finally understanding the truth of his choice. He steps forward, reaching not for one, but for both, his hands closing over the energy that binds them. A surge of force erupts through the chamber, a blinding light swallowing them all whole. The chamber collapses into nothingness, the unseen force screaming into the void as the rules shatter. As the cycle breaks, when the light fades, they are no longer in the chamber. They stand together on a world unknown, the sky swirling with colors unseen by mortal eyes, the chains gone, the weight lifted. The two women look at him, not as captives, not as prizes, but as something more. The first woman nods approvingly, the second smiles, the smallest of smiles, and the man finally understands he was never meant to choose between them, he was meant to free them.